Hello and welcome to the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. It's Tuesday the 12th of October 2022 and you're very welcome here. It's morning here, but wherever you are in the world, wherever you're watching, whatever time, you're very welcome and I'm so glad you're here. Where can you find me? I'm Ruth Loves to Knit podcast on Instagram. I'm Ruth Loves to Knit on Ravelry. And I have an email which is ruthlovestoknit@gmail.com, and you can contact me on any of those platforms. I do prefer Instagram and email. I'm very far behind on Ravelry, so if you want a quick response, email and Instagram are the best way to go. Now I have the window shut today. If you watched last time, you will know that maybe not my friend, we have some cockerels who found their voice and they cock-a-doodle-doo through most of my last podcast, but it's a dull, looking like it's going to rain day today, so I've closed the window, so I hope it won't be too disturbing, although most of you said you like to hear the countryside noises, so there you go. And one poor lady even said she thought it was her doorbell ringing. So I do apologise for that. The other thing is my son is off school sick today. He was off yesterday as well, just general bugs. So there might be a bit of movement around, although he's still fast asleep at the minute, which is probably the best medicine. So what's been happening with us, you'll have seen the wee sort of clips at the very start. I went on Saturday, I went to a local yarn show. It's only about maybe 6 miles from my house, in a really old house, 900 years plus old house, up a single track lane, single track road, which always works on my nerves, but I think it's maybe the third time I've been at it, and it's always a lovely wee show. Very small but very lovely, and I'll show you the few bits and pieces I got from that at the end. So yeah, just if you've watched this video or this podcast before, you'll know I am a rubbish videographer, and I thought, no, I'll not take any videos. And lovely Amy Palco from The Meaningful Stitch said, why don't you just take photographs? Ooh. So much easier, so much less stressful, and so that's why it's all stills. I think I missed one stall, but it was very dark in the corner she was in, and I don't know whether it would have come out anyway, but always fun to go and be with people, like-minded people, get a wee cream tea at the end, sit in front of the fire, and it was just lovely, and I met some lovely people too. I went on my own, and a lovely lady came over and sat down beside me, and we had a cup of tea together and chatted all things knitting, so it was lovely. The other fun wee thing that happened was a few weeks ago, on a Saturday, I met up with some of my knitting friends in a coffee shop in Oakhampton, and I walked in, and who did I bump into but lovely Claire and John from Birch Street Yarn. They were down on their holidays, and it was, you sort of expected to see them with a backpack of yarn, you know, so it was lovely to see them in real life. I've never met them before, and immediately hugs and chat and all the rest of it, and it's lovely they were there with their family and they still took time to talk to us, so that was really special. So there you go, that nothing majorly exciting has happened, but it was just lovely to have those wee moments that just nice memories. I'm sure you're all waiting. Sorry, I feel very disjointed this morning. You might say you're always disjointed, Ruth. I'm sure you've all been waiting for the winners of the giveaway. I apologise for that too. Life just took over last week, and then we had some people staying, and I had to clear out my craft room, so I had nowhere to podcast from. But here I am, and the winners will be announced throughout the podcast. I was going to do a separate one, and then I just thought, you know what, let's just, even if it's a bumper issue, feature length, let's just do it all in, and we'll announce those winners. And we'll just start. So I'm going to announce the first 3. Are you on the edge of your seat? Drum roll, please. Okay, there's going to be a bit of flipping back and forth because I've written them all down. I don't want to make a mistake. And please, if I pronounce names, because some of them are Ravelry names, some of them are real names, and but I will put them on the screen as well, so you don't miss out. And when I announce the names, If you're a winner, please get in touch. I'm going to give you a month. Because I think, you know, it takes time to get around to watching a podcast. And if you don't claim it in a month, I'll redraw. Please get in touch with me either by email or by Instagram. I probably would prefer email if you don't mind, ruthlovestoknit@gmail.com, because I find some messages on Instagram can just get lost, and I really would appreciate if you, and obviously you need to give me your either your Ravelry name, or if it's a actual tangible prize, that's not the word, is it? Hold in your hand prize, you need to give me your address. And if you're in the UK, it'll be sent second class. If you're over across the water anywhere, it'll be sent on the slow boat, and you might have it for Christmas. But I would be bankrupt if I sent everything airmail. And 10 prizes to give away. People have been so generous, it's been unbelievable. And incidentally, I just want to thank you all for taking part. I mean, it just blew us away this year. Both Fernanda and of Little Monkeys and me and myself just could not get over the generosity of people giving giving prizes, and also of the enthusiasm that so many of you put into this KAL. First timers, people who said they'd done it before, people who have knit 3, 4, 5 shawls, and people who said they realised the addiction. And we just can't thank you enough. And as I say, for those who gave prizes as well, you're just amazing. And so I thought I would do 2 quite big prizes, and then we'll see what happens. So the first one is, I was going to take screenshots of the shawls that people knit, but it just got out of control. So I have it. So go and look at the hashtag of ATPS KAL 22FO, and you will be blown away by the talent, the beautiful designs, the beautiful yarn, and it's just gorgeous. And although the Ravelry threads are shut, you can still go into them and have a look, and go and have a look at the FOs there too, and you'll get so much inspiration. New yarn maybe you haven't heard of before, and yes, it's just fantastic, and it's the fastest 3 months of my life, I think. So the first winner, right, shut up Ruth, the first winner for the Ravelry FO is Nitty Nutter New. There you go, I love that. That's obviously not your real name. Oh, do give me your real name as well, because I don't want to have to send your parcel to Nitty Nutter New. But the first winner is Nitty Nutter New, and there will be a wee bit of rustling because I have kept everything in sealed Ziploc bags, so there's nothing can get near them. We have a wee dog, but she doesn't get near anything to do with my craft stuff, but just to keep them clean even over the last few months. And you have won, sorry, rustling, you have won the Licka Needles, the Grove, I think they're the 3.5, oh dear me, I think they're 3.5 inch needles from Licka. You've won the Paw Ply Yarn Co. Christmas Cookie skein, perfect in time for Christmas. And you have won this gorgeous wee project bag. Don't even know if there's a maker. Oh, there is. Hang on. Buttoned Up and Pinned Down is the maker of that. It's wee drawstring. See, I'm not going to pull it because it hasn't been used, and I want to send it to you. So lovely autumnal things. So that's well done. Congratulations. And that's your prize. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the Insta finished objects, and that is Emma Trainer. And her prize, because I was doing the Insta one, I wanted to give the bumper prize, and well done, Emma. I think Emma actually sent hers through email to me, and then I posted them on Instagram. But it wasn't us who picked. We didn't go through and pick which ones we liked. It was, don't want to say it out loud, it was Alexa who picked, just randomly picked. So you could have done a 1 skein shawl, you could have done a 5 skein shawl. It wasn't, and we maybe did have our favourites when we looked, but we didn't pick that way. So we have, sorry, major rustling. We have this gorgeous purple fade from Ted Knits. Those are 50 grams in each one. So you will get some lovely, even maybe a short sleeve sweater. Then the gorgeous Baubles and Berries. with the wee stitch markers she does, wee sheep. Then a local to me bag maker donated this gorgeous bag with the sheep on. It's all very fully lined. There's no maker name in it, but and then top it all off from the knitting gift shop. Now these weren't gifted. This is my donation to the proceedings. A lovely shawl pin in a lovely wee gift bag, Celtic. So there you go. I think that's a pretty nifty prize and well done. I think Emma put in about 3 or 4 shawls, so I suppose the more entered, the more chance you have of winning. And the third one for this part was the Instagram chat and Beanbox Knitting, and she won the Blue Fern yarns. Shannon has been an amazing supporter of my podcast. She has her own podcast too, but she dyes just gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. And this is the set that Shannon donated. See if I can get the Blue Fern yarn. So that's 1, 2, 5 mini skeins, and it's probably not showing up, but they are all just slightly tonally different. And then the main one. This is Seafoam, and this is the Ocean collection. And she said this would be perfect for the 6 Wives shawl. Maybe you're sick of shawls by now. You can do whatever you want with it. But the 6 Wives shawl, and it's crochet or knitting. There's 2 options. And you can find that pattern on Ravelry. So I think it's by Bloomin' somebody, but anyway, 6 Wives shawl. You can message me if you're not sure what I'm talking about. So that's that. And then a lovely leather shawl cuff from Projects 2020. And then from my lovely friend Jeanette from Crafty Clegs Creation. She gave several bags, and I know that's a bit summery, but summer will come round again, and you can pop that away maybe till next year, or use it to keep your mood up. And I think that would be that's a fantastic prize. So if those 3 could send me your details, I will get those away to you as soon as I possibly can. Also bearing in mind there are a multitude of postal strikes, Royal Mail strikes in the UK coming up in the next few months, so I'll try and dodge in between them, but just be patient. And let me know when you get them, because it's always a bit anxiety and wonder, did things get there? Did I get lost in the post or whatever? So, but I hope you enjoy those. So that's your first 3. Keep you in suspense. And we'll go back to normal programming. So, FOs, well, I'm wearing one. I stand up without them on the rocking chair, and it's very likely to go whoop back. So just a wee capelet. You know, I've really fallen in love with the capelets. It's very in your face, sorry. This is the Ellanora. Look at those cables. Oh, I love it. I've named it the Ellanora capelet, but on the test knit it just says Ellanora. But I don't know if it's by Lauren Peterson, and I've messaged her, I showed her the finished object, but never got a response, and she hasn't put anything on Instagram, so I don't know, maybe life's just taken over for her and she's got busy. I don't know if this is her. I presume she's got, you know, work other than designing. I don't know, but there's no sign of a date for when this is coming out, but I would really recommend it if you do want to knit it. And I'll, of course, if I see it that it's been published, I'll let you know. And the yarn I used for this was it's really size inclusive, by the way. This isn't the biggest size that she's done it in. The yarn I used was Truly Hooked. I got this in a yarn swap. Lovely Alethea sent me 2 skeins of this, and it's called Beekeeper, and it's in just merino nylon. And this is all I've got left. I love it whenever you finish it up. And I was a bit concerned because it is, obviously, the whole thing's patterned, but I think it's come out beautifully, and I've worn it several times already. Yeah, I would be very, very handy to make another one in a different colour whenever it's, if I get round to that again. But yes, I really love it, and it's just perfect because it's finger and weight, just perfect for throwing on, and your hands are free, and you can get on with life. So yes, love it. So that's my first finished object. My second finished, I have a lot of finished objects this week, but of course there's always a saga with me. My second finished object just is a wee small thing. I had knit one, I think, last time, And it is the, I'm going to put these on, might help on that. Excuse me while I get dressed. It's the School Run Mitts from lovely Laura from Penrose Knits. Oh, there's a tail hanging out. I had knit these just for something to cast on really, but fell in love with the yarn. It's this yarn here, Ficolana Arwetta, and I hear other podcasters raving about this, and I was like, oh, for goodness sake. But it's like knitting with cashmere. It is so soft, and I said I can't remember where I got it because I don't think I bought it myself. And this is how it knits up. And lovely Laura has offered us has offered me a freebie giveaway of this is school run hat, school run gloves, and school run headband. But I'm going to keep it till another podcast because I think it's going to get a bit confusing in this podcast with all the giveaway stuff. So school run mitts, we haven't needed them here. We've had a very mild autumn so far in Devon, so I haven't needed to wear mitts, but they're all ready for when I do. Oh, the colorway of this is 990, and I like that wee man on there. So that's just almost a palette cleanser, isn't it? Just of doing a wee pair of mitts. Sorry, it's a very loud, noisy lorry just went down. And then my next one is another shawl. I have to say, I think I haven't enjoyed knitting something as much as this in a long time. I couldn't put it down. The colour, the yarn weight, the pattern, just all collided in a perfect way, and it was just a pleasure to knit with. And it is the Chivalry shawl. Chivalry shawl. I'll put I will have photographs on the screen of all these things, what they should look like and what I knit. But I'll put a picture up from the pattern of the Chivalry shawl. This is hard to say as some of the other ones I've had, and this is mine. This is what I did. Now that's it there. Perfect. This is the yarn that would that do for a thumbnail? Would that do? Let's get this is the yarn that my husband bought me for my 50th birthday. Do you remember all the yellow things? And it was a dream to work with. This is my happy place. I love lace, don't get me wrong, but cables, I just love them. And then the wee bit of texture there. And because it was iron weight, well, it's the famous worsted weight that's really hard to get in the UK. Everything's worsted weight. It's my bugbear. That's my soapbox. Worsted weight and sport weight. Stop it! I had to go up a full needle size to get gauge. I don't normally do gauge for shawls, but out of interest wanted to, and I had to go up a full needle size, and not got to the cold enough weather yet in any shape or form, but it is going to be beyond cozy. I have to say the yarn is dreamy. It is, sorry, I have these all in a wee bag. It's Truly Yarn, who are on Etsy. And now I'm going to make a fool of myself. The name isn't that yellow in French? I don't know. Aaron. And it was 190 meters. And as I say, I think I've got like 15 grams left or something. So used up every last scrap. And I am thrilled with it. I would highly recommend it. It's on Ravelry now. And I should say who by, sorry. On Instagram, she is Shelty Pap. I'll put it down below. But on Ravelry, she is Katie Degroff Knits. I'll put it all down below. And she's got several other shawls that definitely I would like to cast on at some point. But I've just wanted to do something that just took all of the yarn. I could remember that was my birthday yarn. Did it in my 50th year. Didn't have it sitting in my stash since March, but never mind. And thrilled to bits with it. It's blowing out. It's so lovely. And look at those. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. Anyway, so if you haven't tried cables before, this might be a good one. I don't use a cable needle. I use a wee I have any here, just a wee lock and stitch marker. I find that much handier, and so it wasn't all palaver in and out, and just love it, and definitely highly recommend it. And then, kind of jumping ahead, I was sent some yarn. That's all I'll say. I'll tell you about it at the end. and I immediately cast something on. So I cast on a Tilda hat. Cables are my jam at the minute, absolutely my jam. And this is in chunky wool, which I don't enjoy knitting with in general because my hands get sore. But this is just fantastic. This is Debbie Bliss Rialto Chunky, and I had 2 balls of this. It's 100% wool, 60 meters per 50 grams, and the Tilda hat is by, I'm not say this right, Inese. It's available on Ravelry, obviously, and I think it's lovely. Now it came out, I just did it with the needle sizes that the pattern said, but it didn't even come past. Now I suppose I have a big head, I don't know. I do not have a head or hair for hats, but we'll do it anyway. It's a bit, well, I just look like a pimple. But I think it would do, and I stretched it, I did block it a bit, but I would think it would do somebody with a smaller head. And one of the things she wanted me to do was, again, jumping ahead, was either destash some of it and give it the money to charity, or knit for others, or keep it myself. And this one here will go to somebody who needs a warm head this winter. And it's so soft, yet just beautiful pattern, and I definitely would knit it again. Look at the cable down there as well. But I'll go up a size because I did have yarn left, so I'll go up a needle size. And that was just another wee kind of quick on the needles, quick off, and really, really enjoyable. And then, two more. I had this, the body and all was done on this ages ago, so I only needed to do the sleeves. And this is the Maja cardigan. That's it there. There you go. From the contrast book. You see the contrast book. And I think I've said on here before, I want to knit everything in that book, because very rarely you get a pattern book where you want to knit every single pattern. But this is worsted, but I used Aran. Again, had to go up full needle size. And I think if you've watched before, you'll know that I had done the twisted stitches. No, this side, it's heavy. And I thought those were lovely and neat, but then, no, this side was lovely and neat, and this side was a wee bit rusticer. But I learned a new way to do it thanks to Laura Penrose, and they were much more sort of striking there. But I said I wasn't not ripping back, but actually in hindsight, yeah, I maybe wish I had. But I think it's gorgeous. It's going to be so, I'm not doing this justice at all. I'll put a picture up of what it's supposed to look like. The only change I made was a wee bit longer on the body. I had plenty of yarn, and I didn't decrease on the sleeves. Sorry, excuse me. A wee drink. My throat is caught. Got that sent to me by a friend, maybe last year. I didn't decrease, and then I did a quick decrease at the bottom, so they're kind of nice and loose, but then go into a nice cuff at the bottom. That was the only thing I changed, partly because I didn't read the pattern right, and partly because I actually quite like it. I just love the saddle shoulder, and I wish I could show this better. It's really not doing it justice at all. I think you get the idea, don't you? And then just down to the nice rib. But at the weekend at the yarn show, there was a lovely lady there who her whole stall was Fimo clay, and she had the most amazing shawl pins, which I put on my Santa list. It's local West Country Creations, I think she's called. Local said I could call into her studio, but what she did have, and were amazing, were buttons. Well, they are showing up. They were showing up purple whenever I photographed them, and it's only got 3 buttons, and I just added those just for something different. I was going to put wooden buttons on. I just thought, just for something different. And she says you can easily just put them, if you're hand washing your knits, they'll wash. You don't need to take them off or anything. So that'll be very, very cozy once the weather does close in and the bills go up. I can wear this cozy cardigan. I think that just lifts them, doesn't it? I can wear this cozy cardigan and be lovely and warm. And it was a very easy to follow pattern. And I will be casting on something else out of that book very soon. But again, I put a plea out for worsted and for sport weight. Stop! Think of us Brits. Anyway, so the yarn I used for that was Drops. Sorry, rustly. Drops Alaska. Just good old Drops Alaska in Colourway 66. A nice rust brown. I think I got it from Will Warehouse or something like that. And I kept all my things just to know how many I used. So that's that. But I couldn't wear that today because I still am getting a bit warm now, even with this wee thing on. And then last but not least, sorry, are a pair of socks. Don't faint. I have maybe got my sock mojo back, maybe. And I have knit these socks before. You've seen these socks before. At the beginning of the year, I was doing samples for botanical yarns. And these were, I can't remember what month these were for, but I so enjoyed knitting them. And of course I had to send them back. They're by Twinset and Purl. I'll put a picture up of what they should look like because it's very hard. I've got two of them. You can see. This was left over. I did the Sun and Soul wrap by Tiff Nealon, and this is what I had left over from it. So waste not, want not. And this is West Green Loft yarn. Let's see if I can take one off the rattle, rustle. Oh yes, you can see the nice pattern going down the front, can't you? And this was I got from a D-stash. Tatty Cat design D-stash. So it's West Green Loft yarn. That's not even helping, is it? West Green Loft yarn. And this, I had two of these, and this was the April Yarn Club. Whether it was this year, last year, I don't know. And just merino nylon, and that's all I have left now. So I used it for the shawl, and then I used it for these socks, and I think it's perfect. You can really see the pattern really well. Incidentally, I love Twinset and Purl's patterns. So well written, so easy to follow. Both, I think generally they do them charted and written, but this month, you know, they're twins. They both design together. One does a lot of socks, and I think she's done a sweater. The other one, sorry, I can't remember which one's which. And does a lot of KALs and shawls and things like that. But this month, I've written it down so I don't forget it, is all of their patterns, all of the proceeds from their patterns are going to the charity called Every Child Needs Christmas. So if you're thinking of a new shawl or a new pair of socks or anything, go over and have a look at Twinset and Purl on Ravelry and check out their designs. You will not be sorry, especially the socks. Like they're just gorgeous. They're a delight to knit, and you'd be helping out a very, very worthwhile charity too. So, and they're always very kind. They often give to charity. They really do. And yeah, there's another pair these are for me, for my sock drawer. So there you go. Just going to put them behind you on the bed behind you, which is actually just a bed at the moment, not covered in debris. So those are my finished objects. I had many. Thank you for bearing with me. I don't have as many whips, but I'll tell you for why. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 finished objects, some big, some small. Most of them were well underway in the last podcast. So yeah, I'm pleased with those. Will we do some more winners? Just looking at the time. So we'll do another 3 or 4 winners, will we? Yeah, let's do that. So the next winner is for, I've put chat. Don't know whether it was Instagram or Ravelry. Can't remember. One of the chats anyway. Now you'll have to look at the screen for this one because I am not going to get this right. Edna Mawat. Edna, then M-A-U-W-T. You'll know who you are. You'll know who you are. So this one isn't out of the packaging. You win this gorgeous skein of yarn from For the Love of Yarn. This was a charity skein. A friend of mine did a charity raffle thing, but she generously donated this one to us. It's called Farmers Fields, and she works with farmers in the Devon Southwest and charitable things with them. And it really, if you look at, even looking out my window, I can see fields that look like this. You can see the beautiful oranges and greens, and so there you go. So that's from the For the Love of Yarn. Then you get another one of the wee leather snap cuffs. So you might just want to do socks with those and put this on your beautiful shawl you've already made. And then another little bag, again a bit summery, but sure, we need all the cheer up we can get, from lovely Crafty Clegs Creations. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And that's your prize. I'm just going to put it back in this so I don't get them all mixed up. Congratulations. Oh, noisy. Then the next one is the Black Sheep Knitter. And that was for an Instagram FO. And she wins, well, I presume it's a she, wins the So Yarnalicious voucher. Lovely Ez from So Yarnalicious. If you've watched this podcast at all, you know I am addicted to her project bags. It's nearly all I use. And she gave us a £25 voucher. I can't get over the generosity of a small business to give that much. And if you contact me, I have a code for you, the Black Sheep Knitter, and you can get your hands on one of those lovely bags. You might need to add a wee bit to it and a wee bit postage or whatever, but that's definitely goes a long way towards one of her lovely bags. That's number 5. Number 6 is Ruth Knits 83. I have a feeling, was this a crochet one? I can't remember. And you win this. I've just put my hand in when I was picking the winners and just lifted out whatever. So you win the lovely Wool and More skein. It's my lovely friend Laura from the Woolly Beater dyeing her own yarn, and this is 70% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 10% cashmere, and it's called Blue Spray. Wool and More. Incidentally, she's still selling this, and it's online. And then a lovely wee notions pouch, or I suppose if you do crochet, you can keep your cables in it, or your hooks, dear me, and we see it's see-through. And then the last but not least, this gorgeous wee Progress Keeper, the wee sun, and that is from geekycrafting.las. You'll see. Now, I'm not going to put the details of all these makers, I'll be here all day, but that is, I think, a lovely prize. Incidentally, if the yarn colours aren't your colours, sure, knit for somebody else. There's always somebody will love something you've knit for them. Just put that out of the way so don't mix it up. And then the last one for now is for the Ravelry FO, and this one is for Sushi, capital SUSHI 12. So I'll put that on I should maybe just put it on the screen and not say anything. And she wins this gorgeous skein from Andy and Angela from Attic Spin Dye. It's a DK sock skein. Pistachio sorbet sprinkle. Pistachio sorbet sprinkle. I am sorry, I put somebody else's teeth in this morning, I think. Attic Spin Dye, and it is DK superwash merino nylon, and it's quite hard to get DK sock. I think that would be beautiful, or added to another, can you see it? Added to another project, and then another amazing bag made with cord. Nothing so autumnal as this. I can't speak today at all. And this is another Crafty Cleg Creations. Look at the beautiful lining. It's so padded. And all of these have box bottoms too. So that's your prize. So yes, so that's 1 to 7. Still 3 to go. As I say, I'll have the names on the screen. So if you're crafting, just look up. And if I'm butchering your name, I really apologise. Right. So works in progress. Now, don't be shocked. I have only 2 works in progress. I have lost my mojo. I have completely lost my mojo. I have only knit on a pair of socks. I have a pair of socks in my handbag, yellow for for the Marie Curie sock quest, and I only knit on them when I go out in the car, or you'll have seen them, picturing them on Instagram when I'm waiting for the kids, or I was at the hospital this week and I had, you know, a bit of time in the waiting room, and I don't want to cast on big things. I don't want to do garments. So I have just decided, just chill, Ruth, just chill out. So the only two things I've got to show you, thank goodness for that, this is long enough. The only two things I've got to show you is another pair of socks, this time by Daisy Stitches. Oh, I just realised I haven't taken a picture of these. I'll show you the picture of the pattern. So this is the socks. Yep, cables, that's my thing, that's my jam at the minute. And these are the Rosie Socks by Daisy Stitches, who's on Ravelry. And this is how far I've got. They're turning out. I've just turned the heel. They are just turning out beautiful, and it's such, because it's just a repetitive pattern. I don't need the pattern anymore. Just think that they're cast on 68. There's a 64, 68 and 72, but I normally do 64, but I cast on 68 just because I do think sometimes the cables draw it in a wee bit. And this yarn is deep stash. I think this was probably one of the first hand-dyed yarns I ever bought. I bought it in a wee shop, quite a big shop in Colourway, near where my mum and dad live. Glenn's Galleries. It's just like a treasure trove of crafts, and it's woolly adventures. Look, you can see how battered the the belly band is, and it's super sock, 75 superwash merino, 25 now, and it's blue Sunday. As I say, it's probably one of the first hand-dyed. It was that was my gateway into the slippery slope of hand-dyed yarn. And I actually bought two more, I think, to do a fade, but I used them for something else, and this was the one left over, and it's been looking at me every time I pull these buckets open. I've had it caked up for ages too. I just thought, right, I'm going to use it for this, and I think those will make lovely socks. And yeah, I just seem to have got myself, well, I've been knitting plain socks just to get them done, but I'm starting to enjoy pattern socks again, so hopefully it'll stay. It's only been about a year, you know, so, and that's in a wee bag my kids bought me for Mother's Day a couple of years ago from Candy Patch. She's on Etsy, I think, I'm not sure. Didn't have anything to do with this purchase, so so that's that. And then the other one I've got on, and to be honest with you, I'll show you the project bag. This is a So Yarnalicious project bag, which I just absolutely love, and I think this might have been for a charity fundraiser as well. Very often does charity fundraisers for Women's Refuge, and gives a percentage of her income from them to the Women's Refuge. It says strong, brave, enough, loved, worthy. I think we all need to see that every so often, don't we? Just can't help looking at it and feeling boosted and better about yourself. And I love this wee D-ring on a measuring tape. Just the detail and pockets and all the rest of it's drawstring. Anyway, this has been in my Ravelry queue for a wee while, and I could not understand how this would work. Now, of course, I haven't got a picture of this either because that's far too organised. See if I do this. So it should look like that. And the premise is you pick two of your sort of random skeins, very random skeins, and it can be variegated or striped, clashing. They don't have to go together, and then one contrast colour. And I thought, there's no way, this is, come on. But I found the most way out there striped skeins that I have. Now, this is the first one I chose. Now, I don't have a band for this. This was given to me in a lovely gift from lovely Janine from the Faithful Sheep podcast. She hasn't podcasted in a wee while, but and so I presume it's merino nylon, but I don't know the name or the maker or anything. And then this one was given to me by my friend, if I can find the and it's Stripey Cat. Stripey Cat, my rooster's going again, if you can hear. It's not mine, it's my husband's. Stripey Cat yarns in Mischief Managed, that's Harry Potter, isn't it? and it's merino. It's BFL and nylon actually. So that's the two that I decided to test this pattern with to see if it really did work. Like, you'd never put those together. There's orange in both of them, but you'd never really put them together. And then I picked out I've had this in my stash for a long time too. That's very bright. It's more rusty orange. No, it's not coming up. It's not as bright as that. And this is needle and thread. Oh, the sun and the line and the stars. Needle and thread, and it's called Marmalade. Exactly what it looks like. It's marmalade colour. And it's a 50 grams. And you may have noticed, the observant among you, is that I got new glasses last week. And when I got my new glasses, I realised I'd used the wrong needle size. I had gone down half a needle size. So, but I had done so much, I just wasn't for ripping it out. And this is what I've got so far. And I just think it's fun. It's going to be in your face. It's maybe bulletproof because it's slip stitches. That's how you get this lovely pattern. You can see the back of it. All slip stitches. So it's going to be bulletproof because I went down half a needle size, but I wasn't for ripping it out. And I think it's fun. I just think it's fun. And I'm just going to knit till I've no yarn left. She does tell you how many repeats and stuff to do, but I think I'll just keep going. And it'll be a shawl eventually. And I just think it's a different way to use your self-striping yarn. And you can see the lovely, I just think it's brilliant. But I've just been knitting on it, picking it up, putting it down, no rush. Actually had some days where I didn't knit, which is unheard of. Haven't been feeling great, as I keep saying. That's not what this is about. Haven't been sleeping great, and yeah, just life takes over, doesn't it? And I just think knitting is for the love of it. It's not my job. It's not bringing in income at the moment, and yeah, I just decided that was just where I am. You go, these seasons, isn't it? And ebbs and flows. But I'm still knitting. Don't get me wrong. But just not at the speed that I was at before. And, you know, I started this podcast in lockdown when literally we had nothing but homeschooling to do. And so life has taken off and we're busy, which is fantastic because that's what we want to be. And we're out and about again. And, you know, I've mentioned several times that my health's not great at the minute. I'm waiting for surgery and that's imminent. And yeah, I'm just going with the flow and doing what I'm happy with. So nothing wrong, don't panic anybody, nothing wrong. But incidentally, just on that note while I'm here, is I think I am going to take a wee break from podcasting for a wee while, maybe just a month or there, because of things that are coming up. I'm not making a big drama out of it. I will be back. It's just that when I don't podcast, lovely people do contact me and say, are you okay? Is everything okay? Just to let you know, I probably won't be about for at least a month, and maybe, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I'll definitely be back. I haven't stopped, and I hope you'll keep supporting. You won't unsubscribe. But I just feel myself just need a wee break, and yeah, you need to stop having me yapping in your ear. Anyway, let's get back to oh, the other thing is I started the Twists and Turns KAL from Stephen West, and I have done the cast on. That's it. So it will get done. The knitting police aren't here telling me I have to have it done for a certain time, and it will get done at some point. The yarn is dreamy. It's the yarn from Purl Soho, linen quill, and it'll get done at some point, but I am not rushing it. I just hadn't got the headspace. Ladies of a certain age, you will know what foggy brain feels like, and I am really struggling with that at the minute. What I read on the pattern isn't necessarily what it says, and yeah, I'm just going easy on myself, and just, yeah, I'm not putting any pressure on myself. But there's a million other people doing it, so you will see many podcasters showing spoilers and all the rest of it, but we'll do it sometime. It's not a problem. So let's get these last winners, so that if you're not interested in anything else, you can get away off. Right, the last three are for Instagram FO. The winner is Sunbird Crochet, think you're in Germany, if I remember right. And you're getting another, oh, sorry, rustling. As I said before, I don't mind the rustling, I quite like it. It's another little bag from a local maker here with a wee box bottom, nice wee chain handles. And then a lovely viewer called Lorna donated this to our podcast. Look at that rainbow from Wee County Yarns. Kinross lamb's wool. It's mini skeins, and let's see what I think it's 100% wool. Sorry, it's 7 times 20 gram mini skeins, and it's 574 meters in total, and it's 100% wool. So from Scotland. So congratulations, that's for you, Sunbird Crochet. To say, anybody who's not in the UK, just don't hold your breath, it'll get to you. And then oh, I think I must have run out of steam. I think that's all the physical prizes now. Yes, that's all the physical prizes. But lovely creator Anne of the Woolen Knots designer, she's called Woolen Knots, has donated quite a few patterns to us. And for any of her shawl patterns, sorry if you're fed up with shawls, but I think some of you have got addicted the same as me. And two people who have won those are Entwined Mar has won a pattern from Woolen Knots. I'll put the details of Woolen Knots. And the last one is Girl Who Purls, and that's also a Woolen Knots pattern. So she said if you just get in touch with her directly, she's on Ravelry. Obviously, if you can't do Ravelry, she said no problem at all, she'll send it by email. So if that's your case, then contact me. I hope is that straightforward. So if you can do Ravelry, contact Anne directly. I'll give her the winner names. But if you can't do Ravelry, just contact me and I will get an email sorted out for you for playing with yarn for the prize. So that's 10 prizes. I hope you've won. Hope you're pleased, hope you like what you've won. If you didn't win, there's always more giveaways coming up. I've several in the pipeline after my wee break, so there's always still a chance, and I hope you just enjoyed it. It was never meant to be, you know, a big drama, a big stress, and I hope you just enjoyed it and made some friends. I know certainly on Ravelry there was a lot of chat back and forth, and it's been lovely just to meet some of you as well online. So that's all the winners. You can switch off now if that's all you're here for. Incoming. Now I know some people aren't into this, but I have to share. I've been spoilt rotten. I got an email from a lovely viewer called Julie. Well, I haven't asked her if I can do this, so I'll just say called Julie. And she emailed me and said, she was downsizing her craft room. She was having to work from home, make it into an office. And would I like some yarn? Well, of course I immediately said, look, no, give it to someone else, de-stash it, make a bit of money to set up your office, whatever. And she said, no, I want to send it to you. And I could either, as I said before, I could either de-stash it myself and send the money to the hospital that I support in Bangladesh, knit it myself, knit for charity, whatever. So you don't know what's coming. Well, I'm going to put a picture up here, and I hope you can see where my messy kitchen table, where the 2 placemats are. It was a massive box. I don't have the box here because it was so massive I needed to unpack it. But it has filled 2 underbed storage boxes. That's how much there was in it. And she tied it with a bow like a present. It was unbelievable. As I say, this is one of the things I've knit with some of the yarn that she sent. But there's sweater quantities in there. There's a cone. There's from Woolly Knit. There's a cone of Woolly Knit. There's chunky yarn. There's gorgeous skeins of rowan that would make a beautiful 2-colour shawl. Oh, my mind was all over the place. But I'm going to do most of the chunky. I'm going to make into hats and give to people who are in need. But you might see a wee bit of de-stash too to donate the money towards lamb as well. So Julie, I mean, it just kept coming. It just kept coming out of the box. And I mean, it was just massive and quite expensive to post. So I really hope that you feel blessed in giving as well. And then, sorry, I have to bend down and get the things off the floor. So, this was this was the beautiful card she sent in with it. Just, oh, so thoughtful. Knitters are just the best, really are. So then another podcaster messaged me and said she would like to, sorry, there will be rustling. She would like to send me some of her favourite yarn. Again, oh, sorry, not Jim. So again, said, please don't feel you have to. Please don't, you know, you can see I have plenty of yarn. Oh my goodness. And this was from Kelly. Now, I think Kelly is in America. I'm a bit confused. Kelly is in America. This yarn is from America, but it was sent in the UK. So maybe somebody she knows was able to send it. But I've actually written this down. It's from Treasure Goddess, and she's on Instagram and Etsy, I think. And it says on her Instagram bio, it says, I create hand-dyed luxury yarn that takes your breath away. Well, that's exactly what it's doing. There we go. Treasured yarn, or Treasure Goddess yarn. And here's a re-logo. And it is Treasured DK Luxe. 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. Now, talk about drape. It is, I mean, I can't even describe the softness of this. Now that's blown away out. It's not. It's much more golden, like sunsetty golden. And she sent me 2 skeins of it. 2 skeins. There's 225 meters. So obviously, it's called Poseidon's Trident. That means nothing to me. I want to knit one project with this, obviously. I wish I could really get the colours of it because it's just, oh, that's it there. It is divine. Obviously my colour. Kelly, oh, these both came in the same day. Big box and this. I was in like yarn heaven. It was unbelievable. And a lovely wee sticker too. So I was talking to some of the ladies at the yarn show at the weekend and talking about different projects. So got my eye on a few things, but I definitely, it has to be something around your neck or something like, I don't want to add it to another project. I think it has to be it's a standalone quantity. So I can't even get over it. Thank you so much. I would just like to sort of lie on it. It's just gorgeous. So Kelly, you touched my heart. Julie, you're a superstar and blown away by it. Thank you so much. So then I went to the yarn show. Sorry, I have to lift this bag up again. And I wasn't going to go because, you know, money. And I have no self-control. Although I do have learned to take cash, because when the cash runs out, you stop. But it's what would you say? Oh, don't tell me I haven't brought it. Well, you saw that I bought those buttons. They're only like 70p each or something. Sorry. Rustle. I've lost my other. Oh, there we go. So well organised. I don't know where. Oh, sorry, that's me again. So, there was stalls there that you would see at yarn festivals down this part of the world, and I didn't need anything. Like and I wasn't going to buy any yarn, but I just wanted to go and support them because it was for all proceeds from the show were for the Children's Hospice in the Southwest, and of course, you know, fantastic. But every year they have a stall selling knitted things, and every year I buy a wee crocheted animal. And just looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 of them over there at the minute, and this is the one we got this year. They sold that for £2. £2. Like, go, oh, just. I mean, as you know, I'm not a crocheter. I have a blanket on the go. That's it. So that was our wee addition from this. So that was our souvenir from this year. And then there was a new to me dyer from Painting, which is about an hour away from us, maybe. And it was, she had a bargain bid, and she had beautiful bright colours, so of course I was drawn to it immediately. And rainbow colours, gorgeous bright tonals, would have been fantastic for the twist and turns KAL, but she had a bargain box, so this is under £10 each. So this is what I purchased. Fox and Squirrel Creations. DK. I should 2 DK and 2 fingering, but I thought DK, I can add something to that. That could be another pressed flower shawl, or you know, something with a main base colour, because I might have a bit of yellow. That I can add to things. So that was the two things I got. As I say, it was in the bargain bin. I hope she did really well because it was her first time at the show. Very friendly, obviously they always are. But then I saw this made up. Now I should have had a picture of this as well, but never mind. If you look, and this is the, oh, you can see it all right. This is from Gorgeous Yarns. It's like a cowl around your neck, but it's fastened with buttons. Can you see? And she had one on show. I always say this: if you want people to buy your yarn or your patterns, have samples on show. But she had the most amazing ceramic buttons with it. But she didn't have any that I would suited the yarn, because if you remember the disaster from last episode, I did a Stephen West shawl and had 92 stitches left over. So then I decided to just cut my losses and passed off. So I still had this lovely ball of wool. It's botanically dyed with madder. It's deeper than that, that's it there. So I thought, well, it's only one skein. I thought that would be perfect. And then the same stall that I got the buttons from a cardigan from, I got these. So she does have an online presence. She's West Country Creative. Oh, sorry, I said that wrong. West Country Creative. And there's her website. And I got, I'll just show you one. I got these to go. So I thought, this will probably not look right, but I thought, yeah, they match better than this. But that's what I'm going to do for my buttons. They're made from Fimo clay. So that was that. So I think I did okay. Now I bought this pattern, but that was the only thing I used my credit card for, or not my credit card, my current card, because she forgot to bring her float and I hadn't got any change. So I think that was a respectable yarn haul. For once, I didn't go mad. I went very mad last year at it, but I've knit up most of the things that, oh, I got one other thing. I've knit up most of the things that I bought. And this is from Julie Morris, www.julianmorris.co.uk, but sorry. And I got, let's see where, got this button. Just as a real snob for this, obviously, but sometimes, you know, I like to put a button over a mistake, and that's ceramic. I just thought a real statement piece, and I think that was £2 or something. So I was very happy with my purchases. I was very happy with my constraint, although I did buy a cream tea and sat in front of a lovely big fire and just whiled away an hour with some lovely other knitters and got to know other people. I think that's it for the incoming. It was quite a lot. As I say, I'll show you the massive box of goodies. I would be here all day, literally, as I knit with them or as I share them or as I put them destash or whatever. But oh, my heart is full, absolutely full. So, oh, that pattern is called Newgate Beach. And that's it. That's it today. Nearly an hour. Oh dear me. But as I say, I'm going to take a wee break in the next few weeks and just recuperate and regenerate and charge my batteries and yeah, just sort of see where we're going with this. I'm not stopping. I have really enjoyed getting to know people. I've really enjoyed meeting new friends online and what a blessing, you know. It's just been unbelievable, but I just feel I just need a wee break at the minute. Now, if you've watched my podcast before, you know I always end them with a wee thought from God's word, and that's obviously what I'm going to do today. So, but if you think that's not for you, or you don't want to stay for that, I will bid you farewell. Obviously, I'll be on Instagram, on email, so get in touch if you've won any of those prizes, if you want to chat, anything, and I will reply. And as Arnie says, I'll be back. Hasta la vista, baby. And you keep safe and keep on knitting. Thank you. I'm going to take a wee drink here again. Another rambly podcast, but hey ho. So, if you've been with me before, you'll know I was doing a wee mini series on the confidence we can have, and confidence in God alone. The first one was we can have confidence in God's love. The second one, we can have confidence in God's goodness. And today, I have one more, but I'm finishing today. We can have total confidence in God's forgiveness. No matter what we've done, no matter how low we've gone, no matter how deep we've hit rock bottom, God will always forgive us. We aren't perfect, and God knows that. We just have to look at Paul, who was originally Saul, and from the Bible, and his sole purpose in life was to persecute Christians. He hated their very existence. In fact, he stoned many of them and killed many Christians throughout his life. But yet he was massively forgiven and went on to do a mighty, mighty work for God. But even he struggled to always do the right thing. In Romans chapter 7, it says, he said, I don't really understand myself, for I want to do what is right, but I don't do it. Instead, I do what I hate. And so many of us, if we're working on our own strength or on our own merit, no matter how hard we try, if we do all the right things, we always slip and we always fall eventually. And as Christians, we call the things we do wrong sin. And I'm going to quote a lot of scripture today, and I'm going to put it in the show notes so that you don't feel overwhelmed by it all. But I want you to know this is God's word. This isn't my word. These aren't my words. This is from the Holy Bible. This is from the amazing text that we have to refer to and for our time. And in 1 John chapter 1 verse 9, it says, if we confess our sins to him, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from weakness. In Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 34, it says, and I will forgive their wickedness and I will never again remember their sins. God forgives and forgets. We as humans can forgive, but our brains don't let us forget. But he never will cast things up against us again. In Micah 7:19, it says, once again, you will have compassion on us. You will trample our sins under your feet and throw them into the depths of the sea. For 5 years, we lived on the most northeasterly part of the UK in Peterhead in Scotland. And it was only when I lived there that it really hit me about the depths of the sea. And some of those stormy days whenever the water would be lashing up over the harbour wall, and I was reminded the depths of the sea, and that's where they're cast. And it became so real to me and so amazing, the reminder of God's love and God's forgiveness. But a viewer pointed out to me after my last podcast that even though I share something at the end of every podcast, that she didn't feel that I was sharing the way of salvation. Now, earlier on, when I first started my podcast, I shared exactly how you can come to know the Lord. But just in case, I would hate to think that I hadn't shared the way of salvation. That's absolutely the good news is that I want to share with you. And it's very simple in one way. And it's the ABCs. That's how, so even a child can understand. And A is just you admit you're a sinner. None of us like to admit we're wrong. None of us. But in Romans 3 verse 23, it says, for everyone has sinned. We all fall short of God's glorious standard. And B is believe Jesus is Lord. I've quoted this to you every podcast. It feels like John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have eternal life. We need to believe that, not just head knowledge, because if you watch a football match, there's always somebody at the front with John 3:16 on a big poster. We need to have it in our hearts as well. So that's A, admit that you're a sinner. B, believe Jesus is Lord. And Romans 10 verse 9 to 10 says, if we openly declare that Jesus is Lord and believe in our heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is by believing in your heart that you are made right with God, and it is by openly declaring your faith that you are saved. I've said this before too, but it's often said that it's the longest journey in the world from your head to your heart. And I don't want you just to have head knowledge today. I don't want you just to have all of the information up there. I want you to have it in your heart too. And lastly is C, confess and commit yourself to following Jesus. I don't mean confession as in, you know, you have to do rituals and all the rest of it. I mean just openly, like Romans 10 verse 9 says, if you openly declare that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. You know, I'll put a picture up here. I'm sure many of you have seen it, and I think I've shown it before. And it's Jesus knocking at a door. Now, I apologise, this is not a... this is white Jesus. I know he wasn't white. And, you know, but you maybe notice there's no handle on the outside. The handle's on the inside. And he will knock and he will be there for you, but you have to invite him in. You have to say, Lord, I invite you into my life. Ephesians 2 verse 8 to 9 says, God saved you by grace when you believed, and you can't take credit for this. It is a gift from God. Salvation is not a reward for the good things we have done, so none of us can boast. For we are God's masterpiece. Isn't that amazing? He created us anew in Christ Jesus, so we can do the good things he planned for us long ago. We will never be good enough. We will never be able to do enough good deeds, give enough money, But that's all fantastic. I'm not telling you to do that. But we absolutely have to confess and get right with God. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 17 says, this means that anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone and new life has begun. You know, salvation is a free gift. You just have to literally reach out and take it. But it doesn't mean you'll have a life free from trials, temptations, or struggles. It's not a switch that you can flick and everything's going to be okay. Sadly, we still live in this fallen world. Friends may think you've lost the plot. It may mean lifestyle changes, or in some countries it can mean real persecution. And we may, humanly speaking, fail our Lord. I know we will fail our Lord many times. But I said at the start, he is always there, always willing to listen, and always ready to forgive. And I can tell you from my own experience, it's a decision you will never regret. You will never regret the day that you finally say, Lord, take my life. As I say to kids, be boss of every part of my life. And you will have the assurance of a home in heaven someday. No crossing your fingers, no hoping I'm good enough, no dreaming about it, no touching wood or any other rituals. You have been promised that home in heaven. The Bible clearly tells us, John 14 verse 6, Jesus told him, I am the way, the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. You have to trust him. You have to allow him to take over your life, to be Lord of your life. And one day we will go to be with him in heaven. If you know and love the Lord, that assurance is yours. Even on the doubting days, even on the days when you don't feel good enough, even on the days when you're just wish you could stay in bed, you have that assurance that you will be with him in heaven one day. But if you haven't asked the Lord to forgive your sins and be the boss of your life, sorry, I do a lot of children's work, then don't delay. Tomorrow isn't promised. We all know that. Tomorrow is not promised. But you know, the amazing thing is you can come as you are, wherever you are and however you are. And I am going to put a wee prayer up on the screen at the end when I finish. And we call it the Sinner's Prayer. And it's just a very, very simple prayer, asking for forgiveness, asking God to live in your life. And if you want to pray that today, I really struggle on just at the end of this podcast, being able to just, I want to reach out and pray with people, and I can't do it. It's not the way YouTube works. But if you want to pray that little prayer today, and then if you have a church you can go to, a ministry you can speak to, a Christian friend you can speak to, email me and I will try and help you with any other questions. Read your Bible, get yourself a Bible, read your Bible, see the promises God has for you. And if I can help you at all, just remember the ABCs of admit you're a sinner, believe Jesus is Lord, and confess and commit yourself to following him. I hope that's been clear. I hope it's absolutely clear that I absolutely 100% believe that salvation is the only way, and I hope that there's no muddy waters there at all. But please remember that that the assurance and confidence that God is still a forgiving God, and he loves you no matter what. And I pray that today, that for myself as well, that he will give us the strength to keep following him, to do the right thing, to want to delve deeper into his word, to know him more, to be more like him. And at the end of the day, sometime, whenever that time comes, we will go to sit at his feet in heaven one day. That's it, folks. That's it for today. I hope that you have had a good time spending time with me today. I hope you've got a bit of knitting done. Again, prize winners, please get in touch. Again, thank you for taking part in the KAL. I can't thank you enough. And just going to take a wee break. Just yeah. And I really hope you'll stay around till I come back, and yeah, for more fun and more knitting chat. But until then, keep on knitting, and God bless. Bye.